thing. It chirps on occasion, and we're still waiting for maintenance to come in. So if you hear the smoke alarm chirp, it's just because maintenance hasn't shown up yet to fix that. Today we're going to be talking about magic items in the Ben 10 reboot and how they seem to be so easily obtained. And it's becoming, I think, like a legitimate issue for Ben 10. You can either watch the video that has the audio and the images from the episode in question, which is Freaky Gwen Ben, or you're going to be able to watch the face cam that shows me talk and my facial expressions, but you won't be able to see the images from the episode. But both should have the same audio. The only difference would be the one with the images. That one started a little bit earlier, so I've said a few things already. So if you want the complete audio, you'll probably want to look at that one. Where if you don't care, because I'll probably go over that stuff again anyways, and you'd rather see my expression, then you can just check me out here. Let's see, Professor Trevin says, I've been counting. I have 130 points to make. It kind of reminds me of Shaolin Showdown, but that was a great show. Oh gosh. Professor Trevin with the shade. Oh, speaking of which, now I have another live stream, so I need to get the other live chat set up for the face cam. So I'll do that now, so one moment everyone, while I get another live chat set up. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I'm gonna need to make room on my screen for another live chat. So give me one moment while I make another live chat available. Do. And Shaolin Showdown was a great show, I agree. So, I think one thing that's really interesting about the Ben 10 reboot when it comes to magic powers and having them be really easy to obtain is the fact that in the old school show, Charmcaster was like magically adept. Hex like trained his whole life for magic. Gwen, we learn, is like a mystical being in a way. She's an anodite. So using magic wasn't a small feat. Kratos says, Duel Links? Are we getting Duel Links? The only reason why I haven't been streaming as much as I would have liked to these past few days is because I still have homework to do and get completed. So after I do this stream, I'm going to actually start working on some homework from my networking course. I'm going to get all my networking homework for the week out of the way this early. It's only Saturday. I'm going to make sure that next week I have no networking homework. The earlier I do it, the less I'll have to worry about it in the future, which will allow for me to do more streams during the actual week. At least that's the idea. Okay. So, getting back on topic when it comes to Ben 10 and the magical items, to make matters worse... Oh, well, real quick, Professor Trevin has another mention. Professor Trevin said, Gwen had a kick-ass alien grandma that should have stayed because she was Grandpa's lover, and the story would have been epic. So you feel like their grandmother who has magical abilities should have stayed in the show? That's an interesting idea. She's a little old for their like team dynamic, to which you could argue, what about Grandpa Max? But Grandpa Max also takes like a back seat later on in the series, you know what I mean? If anything, if you want to have another Anodite on the team, they reveal that they have a cousin who's also an Anodite, and she essentially looks like Gwen but with black hair. Can't remember her name for the life of me, but she's better at using the abilities than Gwen. It comes more naturally because she's had more time to use them. But if you wanted to have another powerful Anodite character who's like a younger character, then you could have used like the cousin, which she could come back in the reboot potentially. Who knows? But it doesn't look like Gwen has any special magical abilities. It doesn't seem like Anodites are a thing in the reboot as of yet, so it's debatable whether or not we'll ever get that. Professor Trevenant said at least we would have gotten a backstory of Max, a special one at least. I mean, we've gotten a chance to see, like, classic Max in action, like, a few different times throughout the different series. One argument that a lot of people pose against the reboot is that Grandpa Max doesn't have a lot of backstory anymore. That's fair. I think that actually is a genuine argument, due to the fact that Grandpa Max doesn't seem to be a plumber. In Freaky Gwynbin, which is the episode that these images are from, Grandpa Max mentions going to like a bazaar or whatever back in the day. And that's interesting. It's like a throwaway comment, but it implies that this Grandpa Max has traveled at least. Like he's been to a bazaar before. And that's like a little bit of backstory. But we would like to know more about the Grandpa Max of the reboot. Now, the image that just was shown on screen showed Gwen's spellbook from the original series, which has appeared in the reboot. And if you guys saw that image, it showed that it was available for $2.99. That isn't a joke. That isn't like a meme image that like I edited or anything. At the end of Freaky Gwynbin, Gwen's spellbook, which we know works, is available for sale in the Ben 10 reboot universe for $3. The Titan gloves, which are used by Hex in this episode, were available at a swap meet for $60. She was willing to haggle them down to $55. I couldn't be more triggered if you asked me. So the gloves are described as being able to boost your capabilities by 100 times. Hex puts them on, and he claims that he can feel the power of what I believe he says 1,000 gods. At least that's what it sounds like. It almost sounds like for that one line he gets a lisp, and in that lisp it makes it like harder to understand him. But it sounds like he said, I can feel the power of 1,000 gods. He describes the power as being able to lift mountains from the earth and return them to the ash they came from, and being able to reshape the world itself. Available at a local swap meet for $55. Like, that's the part that's triggering. That's the part that's really triggering. Yo, Scavenger, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Professor Trevenant said, Max and her backstory. You can't say it wouldn't have been a great origin story for Ben's father. That's a hard throwback if they did an episode that went so far back that it was that it covered like the birth of Ben's father. And I mean, they could have done a story that went that far back. It seems like a lot of the Ben 10 lore that's interesting to fans is something that the creators of Ben 10 don't want to dive too deeply into, and that really is triggering. I don't know why. But they always like pick up on things that are interesting and then drop them. The Scavenger says, sorry I'm late, I didn't get the notification for the stream. No problem, Scavenger. Welcome to the stream, it's good to have you. Professor Trevenant said, the gloves are fucking bullshit magic item in Ben 10 where black market, not swap meet, unless it's the Fountain of Youth, and that it came ride for some reason. I remember the Fountain of Youth episode from the old Ben 10 series. At least that was being kept secret, and there was, like, a family, more or less, who was working, who was, like, they were trying to protect it, and Hex happens to show up to get at it. A matter of fact, that's a pretty good competitor. I mean, not a competitor, a pretty good comparison, right? So in that episode, they have the Fountain of Youth, but there's someone whose whole job is that they're, like, the guardian, and they're trying to protect it, and you have a force that's after the Fountain of Youth water. Was it Hex? Was Hex also in that one? Also, thank you for smashing that like button. Trying to get at the Fountain of Youth water? Because that makes it really good to compare, right? Because in this one, Hex is after the Titan gloves. But Hex finds the Titan gloves at a swap meet, and they're not being protected. Rather, they're being sold for $55. Like, I think that's the thing that's triggering me, is that, like, the original series, if you were to have this great magical thing in a location, there would be someone who's trying to protect the magical item from being used. There's someone who's, like, their whole family line is existed to protect it or something. Or maybe it's in the Forever Knight's hands, which, again, is a big historical organization who's been trying to collect items for, like, centuries. For Forever Knights, it would normally be, like, alien technology and weapons. It wouldn't be, like, magical items. But fuck it, they don't know the difference. So probably also magical items. You know? So the idea that it's just available to a swap meet is really crazy. And the idea that the spell book is $3. And it's not like the woman who puts the $3 label on it doesn't know that like the spell book works and has real spells in it, she watches Grandpa Max cast a spell, which is another thing. Grandpa Max is shown using magic in Freaky Gwynbin, and it's such a like no one pays any attention to it moment, but that really matters. That anyone can just pick up a spell book, say some shit out of it, and it works. Because it shows that there's like a low barrier of entry for magic in the reboot. Professor Trevenant said, still, my point number 5 still stands. He also said, I only saw the season 1, and I have 130 problems with the first damn season. Wow. 130 problems seems like a thick book of problems. But I do agree that the gloves are bullshit. The Titan gloves, they do a lot. And, wow, I mean, it's incredible that the Titan gloves were at the swap meet in the first place. The idea that you could just, like, that some random person had just found them and that they were available. But, man, this is, like, becoming a habit in the Ben 10 reboot, and I wish I had scenes from, like, other episodes, but I haven't taken screenshots from them. But in a few other episodes of the Ben 10 reboot, it is shown that not only are magical items just around, but they always end up being with random people. I believe there's like a fake J.K. Rowling character in the Ben 10 reboot who ends up getting a magic spell book kind of thing. That's like a real magic spell book. There's a cosplayer in one Ben 10 reboot who gets the Wand of Merlin, and he just has it. I think the episode ends and he just has the Wand of Merlin, which is insane. Professor Trevenant said, yeah, that's a special kind of bull. Shyamalan kind of bull. Kirby says, this really awesome thing is cheap as fuck. Yes, that's how it is. X has a new image if I look at it on my computer, but his image is the same if I look at it on my phone. X said, hey, Ben 10 my nigga. It's also, like my new logo? Yeah, your new logo's pretty fire. On my phone, you still have the old one, but on my computer, I see the new one. But it's interesting that if you were to show up... Whoa, oh yeah, the face cam phased out for a second, but it's back. X said, literally, the picture is fire. If you were to enter the Ben 10 reboot universe and you wanted to gain a magical item, it wouldn't be hard for you to, like, gain that magical item. Professor Trevenant said, I'm on this chat now because I could not stand even images of that shit. Damn. When you can't even stand the pictures. But, fuck, I lost my train of thought entirely. I know the Titan gloves are bullshit. Oh, yeah. The Wand of Merlin thing? That's from the brief career of Lucky Girl, which is an episode of the reboot series where Hex is after the Wand of Merlin, and a cosplayer ends up getting it. And the cosplayer doesn't know that the Wand of Merlin is actually all-powerful. See you when you get back, X. So, seeing all these magical items just be spread around the Ben 10 universe is really interesting. You have this whole idea that, like, random individuals can gain magic abilities like it's nothing. And the barrier to entry for using the magical abilities is, like, non-existent. You grab the spell book and you can pronounce the spell, you can use it. They even show Grandpa Max not only casting a spell, but he fails to cast another spell because of the fact that, like, he tries to pronounce it, but he fails to. So as long as you can pronounce the spell correctly, you can use it. And you can use it with the greatest of ease by buying a spell book for $3 at a swap meet. Like, that's how easy it is. The money barrier is, like, almost a non-existent money barrier. If you guys watch Jank Heroes and you see, like, in our Jank Heroes videos, how you can buy creatures that have, like, dimensional abilities for, like, $30. You know, it's Jank Heroes. It's supposed to be jank. Ben 10 has never been this jank. That's, like, Jank Heroes level shit to get a full working spell book where all you gotta do is just say the words and the spells work for $3. Professor Trevenant said, Lucky Girl was OG, one episode till they grew up. That was so cool. I mean, Lucky Girl, later on, Gwen, like, uses the spell book more without using the Lucky Girl thing. Kirby said, yeah, but the $30 pet is a fucking mouse. Kirby's like, remember, in Jank Heroes, even Jank Heroes isn't that jank. It still costs $30 to get a normal mouse. Where, when it costs $30 to get a normal mouse, but in Ben 10, it costs $3 to get a working spell book. Professor Trevenant said the spell book is a different beast to talk about. True. It's like a whole other animal to get at the spell book, and how it's only $3. It's one thing for the spell book to be openly available, where if you were to appear in the Ben 10 reboot universe right now, you could just, like, use the spell book. And it's another thing for it to be $3. Like, to have to find it is one thing, but to find it and you just have a small pay barrier, it's pay to win. It's pay to win for, like, a whole reality. You know what I mean? And it's cheap pay to win. It's the micro of microtransactions. One-time payment. All-powerful. Magic spellbook. Whatever. Professor Trevenant said, that was the start of a beautiful rivalry between Charmcaster and Gwen. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we haven't seen Charmcaster in the reboot yet, right? Like, she is yet to appear, which is really interesting. It's just been Hex. And then we get to see Gwen use the Titan gloves in Freaky Gwen Ben, but it's been in Gwen's body. So we don't get to see Gwen use the Titan gloves. It's really weird. But it sucks that the Titan gloves are destroyed by Upgrade in this episode, which I show images of that as well in the slideshow. But I'm actually really curious to see if Upgrade has the ability to mimic items that he's overshadowed before. Because if so, Upgrade is GOAT, greatest of all time of Ben's aliens, but we've yet to see if he can replicate anything that he's overshadowed. This is an ability that Ship has. Ship was from Alien Force Ultimate Alien, and I believe Ship also appears in Omniverse, but I can't remember because it's been a minute since I've seen any Omniverse episodes that had Ship in them. But Ship was a galvanic mechamorph, which is an upgrade creature, and his whole thing was if he overshadows a weapon or technology, he can later mimic whatever technology that he, like, upgraded, and he becomes the upgraded form of that tech. Professor Trevenant said, I'm glad they would botch her up since Gwen starts with the damn book. Professor Trevenant said, remember Upchuck? What a random, like, mention of Upchuck. Yes, I remember Upchuck. Also, I imagine they could do alright with Charmcaster. I like what they did with Frightwig in the reboot, so I don't think they would mess up Charmcaster too bad. I think that would actually be pretty cool. The Scavenger says, Ship is Omniverse on Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. Okay, thank you kindly, Scavenger. So, if Upgrade can do, like, what Ship can do, where he can mimic anything that he's, like, upgraded before, then I imagine that Ben 10's current upgrade transformation in the reboot would have the ability to mimic the Titan gloves. Not only the Titan gloves, but also the Omnitrix. There was a tower that could, like, turn people into babies. That Upgrade is overshadowed. Steam Smythe's robots. Like, Upgrade's ability to mimic shit is really, really good. I'm not gonna lie. Because the Titan gloves, if they really do, like, multiply your ability times 100, and when you wear them, you can turn mountains into fucking ash, and you can reshape the planet. Like, you would be saying that Upgrade could reshape his body into the Titan gloves and just reshape the Earth, just like on a whim. Just fuck it, he can do it, right? You would be saying that he could turn into a tower and he could just turn all his enemies into babies, you know, like. And I guess I'm relieved that I've yet to see Upgrade just become anything that he's been before, because if he did it in the same way that Ship did it, then it'd be game over, man. He would just be too fucking good. But I think that Upgrade should have this ability, and my argument is Ben 10 Alien Worlds. So Ben 10 Alien Worlds were a series of clips that are on the Cartoon Network YouTube channel or whatever that showed the origin stories of like the individual Ben 10 worlds. So Kirby says, does Upgrade have a shape-shifting ability? That's what I'm about to get into. So in Ben 10 Alien Worlds, it's shown that the first Upgrade creature ever, right? The first galvanic mechamorph overshadows this vehicle, and then he becomes it, and he's like riding around on Galvan B, which is like the home of the Upgrade creatures. But the next thing you know is, like, all of the Upgrade creatures on that planet suddenly have like the ability to turn into that. And I'm not saying it's a hive mind thing or anything like that. That would be fucking stupid. Because that would imply that an Upgrade creature could turn into literally anything any other Upgrade creature had ever become, which would be, that would be too much. That would be too much. But I think that fuck, what am I saying then? Yeah, because it shows that all the Upgrade creatures end up becoming that vehicle. And I was gonna say that, like, I doubt all the Upgrade creatures overshadowed that one car so that they could all become it. But then what is the rationale if you don't say they didn't all overshadow the car? It makes it seem like they can hive mind. I don't think we don't have enough evidence for them to be able to hive mind. I think that's bullshit. So I don't know. I'm not actually sure if Upgrade can just, like, mimic things he's become before. We know Ship could do it. That was Ship's main thing, is that Ship could upgrade something, and then he could become whatever he upgraded later on. That's how he becomes, like, the mech suit for Julie and stuff like that in Ultimate Alien. So, I'm really curious to see if Reboot Ben can also do that. It's not fair for us to argue that because we've seen Galvanic Mechamorphs do it in an older series, that means anything now in the reboot, because we know in the reboot it doesn't matter. Like, things like that don't actually apply. Professor Trevenant said, Upgrade is basically a bigger microbot made by more microbots. Yes, he can. I can't say. I won't go as far enough to say yes, Upgrade can do it, or yes, or no, Upgrade can't do it, kind of thing. I would need to see it. I would need to see Ben do it in the series. You know what I mean? For me to, like, fully say that Ben can just replicate anything that he's shadowed over. Because I must say, Upgrade is already one of his better aliens for the reboot. But if we could confirm that he can do things like mimic the Titan Gauntlets, it's too good. Professor Trevenant said, but back to Upchuck. Upchuck is broken with cartoon power. Well, Upchuck is already broken? That feels like a whole other video, Professor Trevenant. But Upchuck has no predator. He's at the top of his own food chain. Like, that's been determined. Like, the show has said that before. Not the reboot, because Upchuck isn't in the reboot. But in previous series, they've explained that Upchuck has no predator. So there's no, like, alien that threatens Upchuck to where they, like, hunt them down or anything. And then, I like how Professor Trevenant says, sweet, I'm giving you ideas for better Ben 10 videos. Oh, come on. I'm trying to be, more relevant to the reboot, because I feel like people sleep on the reboot. The reboot just has, like, a lot of cool stuff in it that I feel like people just ignore entirely. Right now I have a tab open. The scavenger said, wait, what? Upchuck is not in the reboot? Yeah, Upchuck is not in the reboot, dude. Ben's 10 aliens right now are... Whew, this is going to be a struggle, because I'm not looking at a list. Let me see if I can name them. Forearms, Heat Blast, Diamond Head, Stinkfly, Upgrade. Okay, that's 5 of them. I'm glad I could do, like, half of them. The scavenger said, I'm gonna kill Cartoon Network now. When you were, like, so down for the Upchuck. Gray Matter. It sucks when you get to, like, 6, because I know I only need, like, 4 more. I only need to know 4 more aliens. Overflow. I don't think I've said Overflow yet. I guess when you get stuck, you just need to start over. Forearms, Heat Blast, Upgrade, Gray Matter, Overflow, Diamond Head, why is it that you can get to 6 with like the greatest of ease, and then after you get to 6, you're just like, well, who have I not said? Professor Trevenant said, I do not ignore. I gave it the benefit of the doubt, and it's shit. On the show, it's trying to be a show, so I'm trying to reconnect the face cam. Here we go. Yeah, sorry about that. The face cam froze. That's actually pretty interesting. I watched a video recently that had, like, 10-year-old kids, and they asked them, what was your favorite thing about Ben 10? And all they could say was, like, the premise of the show. Like, the reboot come about. You know, because all you have their argument is that like this is all the audience wants as a baseline, so we don't have to do too much more than that. And I think that's like been a real push. I'm not saying the reboot doesn't have like its strong points and that it doesn't have like interesting story points and things like that at times, but I feel like the writers know that they don't have to push a bar for the current generation. The current generation wants to see Ben turn into aliens, and they're like, sure, Ben turns into aliens. And that's all they have to do. It's actually really interesting to like look at it from that perspective. But right now I'm going to try and see if they even try and claim on the Ben 10 Wikia, which I know the Ben 10 Wikia is fan-based and not official, but I want to see if even fans would go as far as to say that Upgrade has that ability. Professor Trevenant said, and that's why this show can be cancer. Kids are missing some great stories only watching this and putting it in their minds that Ben 10 can't go any further than his premise. That's a solid observation. I gotta agree with that. It seems like kids don't say when you ask them what's great about Ben 10, oh, it has an awesome story, or oh, the characters are great. They say, Ben turns into aliens, and I think that's why Grandpa Max isn't a plumber in the reboot so far, because of the fact that like what kids are looking for is Ben turning into aliens. So the creators say, why focus on like Grandpa Max doing all this extra stuff? That's not Ben turning into aliens. It's like, why is it that Gwen isn't Lucky Girl and uses all her magical abilities and stuff? They're like, well, the kids want to see Ben turn into aliens, and Gwen is not Ben, and magic is not turning into aliens. So I feel like that's like been a pretty big thing that they keep pushing. Ben needs to turn into aliens, and everything else can kind of take a back seat, is more or less the stance that they've taken. And I understand why they've taken that stance. Kirby said, I mean, the Omnitrix is the core of Ben 10. It's interesting that you say that, because of the fact that, like, we've seen the Ultimatrix and stuff like that. And I know that sounds dumb, to be like, well, the Ultimatrix is not the Omnitrix, and we've seen that. But it's like, that was, like, taking the Omnitrix and changing it up and, like, experimenting with the idea. Professor Trevenant said, the core is actually the plumbers. That's an interesting stance. I mean, the plumbers aren't really a thing until the end of the first season. You know what I mean? So you can have a lot of Ben 10 without having the plumbers. Professor Trevenant said, and the alien technology. Alien technology is a pretty big part of it, not gonna lie. They claim on the Ben 10 Wikia, not an official source, fan created, of course, that Upgrade has technological mimicry. But I would need to see a feat. I would need to see an episode where that happened. Professor Trevenant said, what's great about Teen Titans Go, kids today, Robin and the others did a potty dance, real conversation, no lie. Oh, I understand. Like, Teen Titans Go does a lot of ridiculous stuff, but I actually enjoy Teen Titans Go. I feel like it's genuinely funny. They have some jokes that I feel like don't they go straight over kids' heads kind of thing. And it's interesting because Teen Titans Go doesn't seem like it's being shaped to be like specifically for a certain audience. It definitely appeals to like little kids. I like how Professor Trevenant said, I lost a bit of respect for you. No problem, fam. Teen Titans Go seems like the creators are doing whatever they want. And I'm actually really fine with that. Doing episodes completely based around like the Oregon Trail and D&D are things that little kids won't entirely understand. setting up an entire 15-minute episodes for a MacGuffin joke is something little kids don't understand. And I think that's where I'm okay with Teen Titans Go. Teen Titans Go will, like, set up jokes that are high bar jokes mixed in with everything else. Let's see, the scavenger said, I gained red because you realize Teen Titans Go is meant to be different from the OG Teen Titans. The scavenger said, respect. Yes, it is just supposed to be different from OG Teen Titans. And if you want more of the charm that the original Teen Titans had, you should watch Young Justice. Young Justice is the show for people who are like, damn, I wish I had more Teen Titans. I'm not saying Young Justice and Teen Titans are the same. I would even argue Young Justice is better than the Teen Titans show that we grew up with. Not gonna lie. But it's more of the tone and seriousness that you're looking for. Professor Trevin has said, no, I have 200 issues with season 1 of it for kids. Gosh. The 200 issues. Professor Trevenant was like, Also, thank you for smashing that like button. Truly appreciate it. Let's see. I need to see if Ben has ever replicated a device as Upgrade in the reboot series. Or even in the OG series. You know, like, I don't even remember before. Let's see. Can merge and possess with technology. The size of the device isn't significant. He upgrades it and possesses more capabilities. He can destroy stuff. Allows him to transform it. Merging. Blah, blah, blah. He can also make his head and face appear. I have yet to see him become it. Become it again. Let's see. Professor Trevenant said Teen Titans Go is worse than this reboot. I don't know. I feel like that's debatable. Let's see. Upgrade defeated Nanny Nightmare. I'm looking over Upgrade's feats for the reboot series to see if there's any mention of him becoming something. By the way, let's say that Upgrade can become things that he overshadows. I don't think he can. But if he were to be able to, if we look at the reboot series, has he become some good shit? He became the Titan Gauntlets, which can multiply your abilities like 100 times, and also can reshape the planet itself. When he defeated Nanny Nightmare, he became a tower that can, like, manipulate people's ages and turn, like, grown people into babies. He battled against Steam Smythe's mechanoids, which allowed him to turn into, like, Steam Smythe's, like, steam-powered robots, which are alright, I guess. That one I think isn't as good. What else has Upgrade taken over that I think is noteworthy? He shut down the Hypno Tower at Zombozo Land, which means that Upgrade would be able to, like, hypnotize people if he wanted to. And of course, Upgrade has upgraded the Omnitrix, which means Upgrade could become an upgraded version of the Omnitrix if Upgrade could mimic technology, which again, we haven't seen Reboot Ben do, so it's not the same. Like, you can't argue that Reboot Ben is capable of doing it, but if he was, Upgrade, best alien, it's not even arguable. You turn into Upgrade and you have the ability to, like, hypnotize people, turn people into babies. You can fucking... your abilities are all multiplied because you can make the Titan gloves. You have another Omnitrix on top of the fact that you're already wearing a fucking Omnitrix because you can just, like, imitate it. Too good. It's too good. Professor Drivness said, point 1, they did a cannibal joke in a lighter version of Teen Titans. They did a cannibal joke? That's the kind of thing that I like about Teen Titans Go, is when they do the jokes that just aren't, like, that don't appeal to kids. Professor Trevin said, for kids. Gotta get that cannibal joke in. That is pretty great, not gonna lie. Do we have any instance, this is like a question like people watching, of Upgrade, not ship, but Upgrade from like any of the other series mimicking something that he's taken over before? Because I think that matters. I really do. Let's see. So I'm looking at OG upgrade. I'm going to see if they have any mention of him doing it. Internal nanotechnology. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Scrolling through. Upgrade can make lasers. In the other series, I've seen that before, most definitely. Whoa, I didn't know he could do that. So I'm looking at OG upgrade, right? And they say that OG upgrade has the capability to travel through electrical currents, as shown in the episode Midnight Madness. He can also phase through most any metal or technology. Him being able to travel through electrical currents is pretty good. I thought amphibian was like the only Ben 10 alien we knew of that could do that. But that's actually really cool. Let's see. I'm still reading through to see if there's any instance of him doing that. Whoa. Oh, that's what Kevin's car. Okay. I'm still reading through. I'm still trying to figure out if he's ever done it before. Yep, that's him fused with Kevin's car again. Not becoming Kevin's car, which is really different. Do 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 do. Yeah, I don't know. I've yet to see Upgrade be able to do it. But it is really fascinating, the idea of what if he could. But I would argue that we don't have enough evidence to say that Upgrade is able to become anything that he upgrades. One thing that I wouldn't mind checking into... Oh, snap. Professor Trevenant went hard with this post. Point 50. They made an episode bringing back Slade, then trolled, making the whole episode saying people our age and older should not watch the cartoon anymore, since all cartoons are for kids. Oh, Professor Trevenant's still on the Teen Titans Go. We gotta stay on topic, Professor Trevenant. We gotta focus on the Ben 10s, the Ben 10 reboots. And right now it's me just trying to figure out if Upgrade can recreate the Titan gloves or not, because I'm really interested in that as a concept. Now, CartoonNetwork.com actually has like Ben 10 bios. I don't know if the Ben 10 bios should be considered canon or not. I think because it's CartoonNetwork.com, it's more excusable than if it was something else. And because it's referring to the show continuities and not from like a comic book or something. The Scavenger says staying on topic is for the weak. Professor Trevenant says, I either shit on the reboot or shit on a worse reboot. Win-win for me, but okay. Oop, that's the spirit. Aw, man. My computer's taking the L. It's running so slow. Bios? I'm trying to figure out what's the easiest way to search it. I probably should just click on CartoonNetwork.com/Ben10. I shouldn't type in bios. Fundio says hello. Yo, Fundio, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Also, thank you all for smashing that like button. Truly appreciate it. So, right now we're talking about Ben 10. I'm trying to see if I can find some more Ben 10 resources for information. I went to CartoonNetwork.com/Ben10 and the tab says current meta title. Got him. This show's called Ben10Tier for a reason. It's because Ben 10's in the current meta. Dude, the fucking gaming terms. So right now, I'm trying to figure out if they still have the Ben 10 bios up from before. Because the old school Ben 10 bios had a lot of cool information on the aliens from the different series. And I want to know if they had information on Upgrade in particular. Because Upgrade has some pretty incredible abilities. Professor Trevenant said, "The thing about being a professor, I give all the benefit of the doubt. I overanalyze it. Nothing offends me. But damn, are these points to laugh at? Are there points to laugh at? I mean, there definitely are a lot of interesting points. Um, I'm definitely gonna always play devil's advocate in favor of the Ben 10 reboot, unless the Ben 10 reboot really rubs me the wrong way. Having them have magical items be so freely available, I think, did rub me the wrong way, in more ways than one. I wasn't ready for them to make magic items that available. Oh, they have alien bios for the current Ben 10 alien spread. So that's because it's canon, it makes even more sense to look at these bios. Yeah, I'm down for that. Professor Trevenant said, "Cool. We are two sides of the same coin, my internet friend." Kirby said, "Did it touch you the wrong way, Jet?" Damn, got my ass. So right now I'm on the Ben 10 website, and I'm trying to see if there's like some solid bios we can use. Fuck. It's so sluggish. It's having so much trouble trying to load these individual things. Bio, take me to the bios, please. Okay, let's see. So, there's Ben 10's bio. I don't care about that. It was so generic. I just want to see fucking Upgrade's bio. But I also have, like, tons of tabs open at the same time. Too many tabs, too many tabs. Okay, so let's see. It looks like the Omnitrix itself has a bio. So I'm interested in figuring out what the Omnitrix's bio is. Oh gosh. They couldn't just have like images with text boxes. They have to make everything animate. But now it's like very slowly trying to animate the text. And it's just not working. Professor Trevenant said, "I think Upgrade can only take the shape on the items in the room. The reason for the electricity traveling, he can bend over the wires." So you feel that bend over the wires, that's really different than just traveling electrical currents. I would have to watch that episode that they cited to see exactly what they meant for Upgrade being able to travel down electrical currents. Because if it's like amphibian, then Upgrade is like way better than I already thought he was. They had to make it a scroll wheel for like scrolling through all these things. I would rather just be able to read things straight. So now I'm about to read Forums' bio. The lag is real. He's super strong, totally fire and laser proof, and can jump really high. Forums is fire and laser proof? I didn't know that. Forums creates shockwaves by clapping all four hands together and uses his powerful punches to solve any problem. Fire and laser proof. Forearms versus Heat Blast does Forearms just beat that ass? He's totally fireproof. Totally. So if he's fireproof, then yeah, Heat Blast wouldn't be able to do shit to him. If we like consider the bio on the website as canon. Professor Trevenant said, "Have you seen a water going through a thin slant of paper? Think of that. But the water is Upgrade and the paper is the wire." I mean, I see where you're coming from, right? But electrical currents go harder than just traveling on a wire. An example would be like Upgrade could jump onto your computer and then he could ride like the electrical currents through like your computer transmitting signals and like appear on another computer. Like electrical signals go way farther than just like wired connections, but wireless connections. I'm reading all the bios until we get to Upgrade, just because it loads hella slow anyways. Cannonbolt, the big guy. This awesome alien is resistant to acids and lava. Why does everyone get like 2 resistances where they just say fuck all to something. So Forearms is good against people with lasers and fire powers. Cannonbolt is good against people with acid and lava powers. He can even deflect lasers with his plating to protect himself. Oh, and when you also get laser deflection, which he had originally, so that's not that big of a deal. Cannonbolt rolls up into a huge motorized wheel to knock down his enemies at super speeds. Let's see, Professor Trevenant said, unless he upgrades the electricity box and go into the actual electricity current from there. I feel like upgrade has to have some kind of thing that has electrical currents. Like, I agree with that, in order for him to then travel through them. Oh, Diamond Head. Let's see his bio. I know he's going to be laser-proof. Watch them say some bullshit like, not laser-proof. I'd be really upset. Diamond Head. Diamond Head can transform his body into diamond weapons, such as blades and bludgeons. He can also fire lethal crystal shards from his hands and resist attacks with a sturdy crystal chest. Guess diamonds really are the hardest substance in the universe. No. I doubt it. That'd be really interesting if they want to take that stance and say that Diamond Head is the hardest thing in the universe. Transforming his body into weapons. Diamond Head's pretty basic. Let's see. Professor Trevenant said Diamond Head is also the evolution of another alien. Are you saying that Diamond Head is the evolution of, like, Chroma Stone? ? Also, have you seen the Ben10 Alien Worlds episode for Diamond Head's planet, where they reveal that there are, like, the scientist beings of the world? Then there are, like, the more savage warriors of their world, which is where, like, the Diamond Head form that Ben has comes from. And then you have, like, these sub-aliens who are, like, technically pulling the strings of, like, the entire planet. It's really interesting. The scavenger said, wait, Diamond Head is the hardest? Professor Trevenant said, have you seen the episode where one of them turns into the other? The reason why Ben turns into Diamond Head when Chroma Stone gets destroyed, I don't think is because Diamond Head is an evolved version of Chroma Stone, but rather because Ben would have fucking died. Like, I feel like the Omnitrix failsafe went off, and that just turned him into Diamond Head, because otherwise he would just be dead. It wouldn't. There just wouldn't be a show anymore. They just broke Chroma Stone. Gray Matter. Gray Matter is small in stature, huge in intellect. This slimy alien is stronger than he looks. Gray Matter has sharp teeth to attack his enemies and takes advantage of his compact size to fit just about everywhere, proving that sometimes brain really do beat brawn. They kind of only mentioned his intellect a little bit. I thought they were going to quantify his, like, intellect a little bit by giving him, like, a bullshit IQ or something. But I guess not. Professor Trevenant said, but it's too perfect. What? I mean, nah, that's an easy transition for the Omnitrix to make. I guess it would have been really jarring if he had turned into anything else. Heat Blast. Master of all things Scorchio, Heat Blast can generate intense heat and fire, and uses flaming punches to defeat his enemies. But I guess not forearms, because that nigga is, like, completely fireproof. I can't believe they put that in his bio. He just says, fuck fire, forever. Heat Blast's favorite attack is shooting balls of fire from his hands to set his enemies ablaze. Professor Trevenant said, the entire episode was about Chromadome. I imagine you meant to say Chromastone. I think it's an endless cycle. So you think that if you break Diamond Head, he becomes Chromastone, and if you break Chromastone, he becomes Diamond Head. I would say there's not enough evidence. Professor Trevenant said, lose the diamonds, get diamond, you become a badass. I'd say it's not like an endless cycle thing, as much as it is like the Omnitrix failsafe. I don't think real Diamond Head creatures do that. I think that's my other argument. I don't think if you shatter like a Chromastone creature, they become a Diamond Head creature and vice versa. I think they just actually die. I think that's how they die. Overflow. This aquatic alien can breathe underwater, shoot high-powered aqua blast, and boasts heavy armor to defeat his enemies. Overflow Overflow can propel himself high into the air and even transform his water jets into blades to cut his enemies down to size. Professor Trevenant said, "Yeah, but this is worth debate." I would argue that it's not. I would argue that, like, nah, they would just die. Also, Kirby, thank you for keeping me updated on how things are going in Dragon Project. I'm reading your things, but I'm not reading them out loud, mainly because of the fact that Dragon Project isn't entirely relevant, but I still like being kept up to date. And Professor Trevin said, "And yet you're debating, lol." You got me there. You didn't get me. Clearly, it's enough for me to, like, have a reaction to it. Stinkfly said, Professor Trevenant said, "I'm so trolling now. I'm sorry, Nick." "Oh, no problem, Professor Trevenant. You're fine." Stinkfly said, "P.U. This flying..." Oh, wait, he didn't say it. Fuck, I'm so used to saying said from reading the chat. Stinkfly. "P.U. This flying insect is the smelliest alien of all. Stingfly is quick and agile, but don't be fooled. He's not just speedy. He has a sharp stinger on his tail, and can shoot streams of gross fluid that choke and blind his enemy. Gross and deadly." What? What do you mean he has a sharp stinger on his tail? This design of Stingfly has no stinger. He's like humanoid. Am I tripping? Am I tripping hella hard? I thought this version of Stingfly didn't have a stinger. Professor Trevenant said, "He's basically Ben10's version of Waspinator." I don't even know who Waspinator is. Oh, I think we finally made it to upgrade. Thank goodness. They still got me fucked up with that stinger thing. His new design is like humanoid. What stinger? Professor Trevenant said Beast Wars. Oh, is Waspinator one of the fucking Transformers characters? Upgrade. This futuristic alien uses nanotechnology to enhance devices he comes in contact with. But that's not the only trick up his sleeve. Upgrade can also morph into a liquid state to get himself out of any sticky situation. So it doesn't say that he can. I mean, I guess I didn't know what to expect. Professor Trevin said, "Boom, nanotech. Boom." I mean, just because he can use his nanotech to enhance devices, that doesn't mean that he can necessarily become any device that he enhances. Even though we've seen Ship do it in the past, I need to see Upgrade do it in the show, or for some source that we can take as being at least kind of official to say that Upgrade can turn into stuff. Professor Trevenant says, "Have you seen Big Hero 6? I've yet to see the cartoon. Is the cartoon out? I've seen the movie, right? That, like, 3D animated movie or whatever. But they're actually doing a show of Big Hero 6. And I'm excited for the show. But I'm not sure when the show comes out. If the show is out, I would love to start doing videos on Big Hero 6. I'm actually very interested to see what they do with it. Also, I'm just going to keep going with the fucking bios. Like, I might as well read them now. Wildvine. This weird and wonderful alien can transform into plant matter to camouflage himself. Isn't he already made of plant matter? What? What are you talking about? He also produces powerful vines from his long limbs to use as transportation or as weapons. Nothing can stop the mighty vine. Kirby said, "I'm now going to be minty fresh with this chest armor." Referring to Dragon Project, no doubt. Minty fresh. Let's see. We got Accelerate's bio. I'm curious to see what they'll say about Accelerate. Accelerate, the fastest alien of them all. Accelerate can react to superhuman speeds to think of 1,000,000 combinations in seconds to deactivate devices. He can also run on water and reach speeds of 500 miles per hour. No enemy can get away from Accelerate. Accelerate can think of 1,000,000 combinations in seconds. So Accelerate's ability to think quickly makes him one of the best aliens. And I'm going to do a video on Amalgam Bin. I know I keep teasing an Amalgam Bin video, but I've yet to do one. Trust is coming. Yes, it's going to be bullshit. Accelerate is going to be a part of the reason why Amalgam Bin is bullshit. Professor Trevenant says, "Yeah, the nanotech in many universes can be anything. but I think Upgrade can upgrade in room tech, so Upgrade can't be anything. There's not enough evidence to say that Upgrade can't turn into stuff, as well as there's not enough in it, so we don't know. And the only reason why it's like even a possibly usable theory is because of the fact that we've like seen Chip do it in an older series. Vegeta said, "Why do you laugh like that?" Hey, it's a habit. Wow. Vegeta said, "Like you're spraying a bottle." Zombozo, oh yeah. So they actually have bios on the villains too. Professor Trevenant said, "Yet we are only doing this for a reboot. Only dumbass power." True. Because it's about the reboot, you can't really say that, like, oh, just because stuff in the other series can do things doesn't mean that the reboot series Ben can do certain things. Like, I get that. Professor Trevenant said, oh yeah, I already read that. Vegeta said, like Febreze. Zombozo's real name is Herbert. He's a criminal mastermind. He has a scary clown appearance, which is exactly how he sees himself. He employs a vast array of circus tricks and tactics to aid his criminal schemes. Zombozo got a really shitty bio. Wish they did more. Professor Trevenant said Upgrade never needed to or be debated to turn into anything. I mean, oh, that was my roommate. Let's see. So, Hex has a bio. I'm interested in reading what Hex's bio is all about. Also, thank you for smashing that like button. I truly appreciate it. Hex is a master of magic. He is highly ambitious. He is a highly ambitious sorcerer, eternally on the hunt for magical artifacts to aid in his evil pursuits. He's got a bit of a temper and the perfect lack of a sense of humor to complement it terribly. Interesting. Professor Trevenant said, the Ben10 reboot is messing with your brain, man. Vegeta asked, do you have a girl? No, I don't have a girl roommate. It's a dude roommate. I think you have to, like, really, really try to get a girl roommate. They won't just pair you up with a girl, if that makes sense. And we ended up rooming from, like, choosing the same room kind of thing. I guess I've never heard of a guy and a girl being paired together not on purpose. I think you have to try. Professor Trevenant said, could never really work out. I mean, it depends on the guy and the girl. I wouldn't argue that, like, it could never work. I feel like that's debatable. I feel like it could. Let's see. So, we just went through the different bios for the aliens and everything. So that was cool. Welcome back, Scavenger. It's good to have you. So after going through the bios for all the aliens, we couldn't find evidence that Upgrade was able to do, whatever. Like, be able to transform into anything he'd become. Kirby said, hi, Arnold. When you look around for Arnold Schwarzenegger, but you can't find him. Let's see. The Scavenger said, I was filming a build video. Oh, ballin'. Professor Trevenant said, hey, Arnold is coming back. When everyone's looking around. Oh, wait. Hey Arnold the show? Are you saying Hey Arnold the show is coming back? Or am I getting trolled? I'm already Googling. The Scavenger said, no way, the show Hey Arnold is coming back. I think they're doing a movie. Vegeta said you should get one, please, for me. They're doing a Hey Arnold the Jungle movie. This is actually really recent news. Professor Trevenant said, look it up for a break from this, please, it's awesome. I'll have to look deeper into that in the future. It's interesting that they're having a movie. I honestly didn't expect that. Let's see. Yo, what old Ben 10 alien would you like to see reappear in the reboot? And what Ben 10 aliens would you like to see me do videos on? The scavenger said Ben 10 is our Lord and Savior. Let's see. I really want to do a video on amphibian. I want to do a video on amalgam bin. Excuse me. Mainly because I think amphibian can beat a lot of people. I'm actually willing to, like, once this stream is over, do a whole thing on just amphibian. Also, Professor Trevenant said, do a Ben 10 video on all aliens. Vegeta said, are you going to watch the new DBS episode? I think what I'm planning on doing now for Dragon Ball Super is because I've fallen so far behind, I'll probably watch all the episodes I've fallen behind on at the same time, and then do a really big video where I talk about all of those together. Professor Trevenant said I should do a video where I talk about the best aliens and the worst aliens of Ben 10. That sounds like it'll be a pretty big project, but not anything that I'd be like, oh no about. Like, I'd probably do it. That sounds pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good. But I think that for this particular topic, which we've kind of gotten off topic of, was the whole magical items in the Ben 10 reboot and how easily you can obtain them. Long story short, they're very easily obtained. They're incredibly powerful, easy to use. The Titan gloves you can use just by putting them on. In the spell book, which you can buy for $3, you can use it just by pronouncing spells correctly. So, with the greatest of ease, you can use magical items, and you can buy magical items for little to no money. There's no money barrier, and there's no experience barrier. So they're just easy, and they're just everywhere. What I'm about to do next is I'm going to do a video that will be a really interesting Ben10Tier video. The scavenger said, I can buy a spellbook for only $3. In the Ben 10 reboot universe, the spellbook that Hex uses, which is the same spellbook that was like from the OG series that Gwen had, not only can anyone use it by just pronouncing the spells correctly, but it also is available for $3 in that universe. You could buy that spellbook for $3. It's not mass produced, right? It's not like you go to Books A Million and you pick it up, but there's a woman who's selling it for $3 to literally anyone, which is incredible. Professor Trevenant said, magical items from the reboot equals a shit fucking snake on my mother. Oh my goodness. What a weird combination of words. That was rather vulgar. But what I'm going to do now is, once I stop this video, I'm going to do a whole video that's going to be amphibian. And you guys, like, give me someone for amphibian to fight. And I'll tell you how I think amphibian may be able to beat them. That's going to be, like, the next video. I'm actually going to start that video, like, pretty much now. So I'd like to say thank you all for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like this video. Favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring that bell so you'll be notified whenever we do this live stream. Stay tuned, because I'm literally just going to, like, end this video, right? And then I'm going to get the live stream together for the amphibian video, and we'll just jump right into it. So it's going to be the video right after this one. So just stay tuned. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, logging out. Peace.